is leading our coverage there. From the White House, back to the court now with Shannon.
Well, Bill, Judge Gorsuch being described by conservatives as a slam dunk. He got his law degree at Harvard and a Ph.D. from Oxford. He served as a law clerk to Supreme Court Justices Byron White and Anthony Kennedy. So get this, if confirmed, he'd be the first Supreme Court justice to sit on the same bench at the same time as his former boss. In 2006, he was nominated by President George W. Bush to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 10th Circuit. That's in Colorado. He received unanimous consent from all of the senators back then. That includes Democrats. And that could prove to be an issue for the Democrats who are still here and plan to oppose him this time around. Judge Gorsuch is also described as a clone of the late Justice Antonin Scalia. Check out this picture of Gorsuch and Scalia that the former justice inscribed to his possible future successor. Like Scalia, Judge Gorsuch is described as an originalist, meaning he interprets the Constitution as it was understood by the framers more than 200 years ago. Gorsuch says he's admired Scalia his entire career and praised him last night.
Justice Scalia was a lion of the law. Agree or disagree with him, all of his colleagues on the bench cherish his wisdom and his humor. And like them, I miss him.
SCOTUS blog says the parallels between Gorsuch and Scalia are, quote, downright eerie, and that Gorsuch was at the top of a review of judges and their, quote, Scalia-ness as you measure them on that scale, Bill.
And he was on your short list, right? I mean, he was on just about everybody's short list, right, Shannon? I think in the end it wasn't that much of a surprise, was it?
I would agree with you. Now, I have to give props to our producer, Bill Mears, who months ago when this list came out, he actually picked out Gorsuch from the pack. We thought in the last week or so he was the guy, and last night the president confirmed.
Yeah, thank you, Shannon. Some Democrats are already promising a fight now. You can bet that. Senate Minority Leader, the Democrat Charles Schumer, saying this: the Senate must insist upon 60 votes for any Supreme Court nominee, a bar that was met by each of President Obama's nominees. The burden is on Judge Neil Gorsuch to prove himself to be within the legal mainstream and in this new era willing to vigorously defend the Constitution, end quote. Texas Senator John Cornyn, member of that Judiciary Committee, will oversee the confirmation process. Also chairman on the subcommittee of the Constitution. Senator, good morning to you.
Good morning, Bill.
React to Chuck Schumer's comment there. What do you think of that?
Well, Chuck Schumer has the hardest job in Washington. He's got to appease the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren wing of the Democratic caucus and still try to be the minority leader. I hear him, what he's saying, but there are 10 Democrats who are running for re-election in states that Donald Trump carried. I think they're going to be looking out for their own interests, and I think perhaps they'll provide those 60 votes along with Republicans to confirm this good and really outstanding nominee.
If that's the case, you don't think a nuclear option would be necessary then? You think you can get the 60 votes?
Well, I think our new president it would be eager to go to the states that he carried in the election on November the 8th, where these Democrats are running for re-election in 2018, and make the case. So I think he can use his powers of persuasion and his popularity in those states to help us get those 60 votes.
Let me come back to that point. Mitch McConnell, Senate Majority Leader, with Brett late last night on whether or not that nuclear option, changing the rules, is a possibility. Just watch here.
If you can't get the 8, are you going to use the nuclear option?
Well, look,
are you going to change the rules?
I'm not going to answer that. Let me just tell you, we're going to get this judge confirmed.
But isn't that answering it?
We're going to get the judge confirmed.
So you would?
We're going to get the judge confirmed. And this kind of campaign goes on these days around every Supreme Court nominee. The Democrats are not going to be in favor of anybody this Republican president would nominate.
I know what you stated on 60 votes. Are you willing to change the rules, however, Senator, if necessary?
Well, I agree with Majority Leader McConnell. This judge is going to be confirmed one way or the other. I wouldn't take any option off the table. But, of course, it is our Democratic colleagues who really raised the threshold for confirming judges under the administration of George W. Bush. There's really almost been virtually no one filibustered until that time running for the judiciary. And now the Democrats, of course, have changed it for lower level courts and cabinet officials to 51. But my hope is that we'll return to the tradition of taking up the president's nominees, giving them a fair hearing, and voting to confirm them with the majority of the Senate, and not use the filibuster to block those nominations.
Last
it's not
question.
going to happen.
You mentioned the Democratic senators up for vote in 2018 in the states where Trump won. West Virginia, Missouri, big victories there. Montana, North Dakota, Indiana, Wisconsin, a squeaker, Pennsylvania, a squeaker. How much do you believe those results matter on this vote for those senators?
Well, I think it matters a lot. If Chuck Schumer and the Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren wing of the party are going to tell these people to vote to block President Trump's outstanding pick for the Supreme Court, they're going to have to pay a political price. And I'm sure they're calculating just how much they want to go with their leadership or how much they want to go with this outstanding pick and their voters in their state.
Senator, thank you for your time. Much more to come on this, as you know. John Cornyn from Texas there, the Republican on the Hill. Thank you, sir. 10 minutes.